I continue the story of the exhumation of Bishop Alain de Beaumanoux. From those days back then. So this is Roger from the MSC Mission Office. This is Mission Alive. And in all of this, we remember that Bishop de Beaumanoux was very much a man on mission. He gave his entire life to the church in Papua and died right there at Kabuna, where he loved that place at Kabuna. A requirement was that we construct a small replica coffin of wood, and to put inside that we had to have a steel box which could be sealed. Now all that was done, and the steel box, I think the bishop himself got it made at some sheet metal company, and all that was there. And what remains that we had were placed in that steel box, which was closed. I don't think we actually sealed it at that moment. It would have been sealed later. And we put it into the wooden box, and we processed then to the church. As we went, we rang the bell, and the people from the village came. We had some prayer. I'm not too sure if we had the Eucharist. We probably did. In any case, we would have had some prayer and some talk and some discussion with the different people speaking, including one of the chiefs. So we processed to the church, and all that was done. We had constructed there, fortunately the church there is a rather large sanctuary, so on the side we'd had constructed a small room with open windows with bars on them, so as people could see in and pray, and the remains were placed in there, which I presume they are still there today. So this is has been and probably is something of a pilgrim's site, when people are free to move around. So the little crypt in the church and the gravesite itself. And then with all of that, the report was done, the doctor's report, the secretary's report, and all that was sent on to Rome and is now part of the process. And now Bishop Alain de Beaumanoux is now known as Venerable, which is another step towards sainthood. The next step would be blessed, and for that we need a miracle. Now into that, I may have said this before, the people in that area are quite sure the bishop works miracles, and I'll give any number of examples, and the sisters themselves are absolutely sure that their bishop, which they call their papa, works miracles. And there's one particular incident, one of the sisters who had been a nurse, and she was nursing this young girl, and the girl was obviously dying, and I think she said even the skin had turned sort of grey. So she had on her, and she said she always had on her, a relic of Alain de Beaumanoux. So she put the relic on the little girl's chest, and the girl revived, survived. Now a lot of these for the cause don't help us at all, in that for the cause there has to be official hospital records, and that includes the day-to-day routine records of pulse, blood pressure, medication, etc., that the nurses always write down when they're, or the doctors write down when they're examining the patient. Now a lot of these other miracles, which the people believe, are not documented, so we can't use them, unfortunately. But the point of that is the people's faith. They believe in this, and they will go to the gravesite and they'll take some of the soil which they will use in different ways for cures. And as I said, cures happen. So there's many things like that, and we have to take into account the faith of the people. And while I was still there, I tried to ask people to give me those stories, either to write them down and send them to me, or if I could record them and then write them down. So we would have a record of what people believe. But I wasn't very successful. I got some stories, and they're stored there somewhere. But anyway, we continue to pray to Alan de Beaumanoux for his eventual canonisation. A great man of the church, a great man for the Papuan missions, and he'll be a great saint. So we continue the mission that Bishop Allen undertook, which was continuing the mission of the church, the mission of Christ in the world today. Thank you for also being part of our mission.